Hi everyone, this is Dave from Geekanoids and welcome to a special Geek Q&A session here on the Geekanoids channel. For those of you who followed me for a long time, and yes, I've been on YouTube for almost 7 years now, you will know that I do have a daily tech TV channel which I stopped publishing to probably, it might even be getting on for about a year ago. And I keep getting lots and lots of requests saying, bring back the Q&A sessions. And a couple recently came through saying, why don't you do a Q&A, but just do it on the Geekanoids channel? And that request is being fulfilled. So here it is, the Q&A session on the Geekanoids channel. And the reason I haven't gone back to the Daily Tech TV channel, which I did strongly consider a couple of months ago, is purely because of the amount of work that I do. And if I start the Daily Tech Q&A sessions, which are daily, I just think it's going to be far too much for my schedule, and I would probably do it for about a week and then stop. So I'm going to do the Q&A sessions here on the main channel, on the Geekanoids channel, and every now and again I will let you know when I've got one planned so that you've got a chance to get your questions in via Twitter. Or indeed, if you've got new questions, you can always leave them in the comments section below this video. So before I start this Q&A session, I just want to say thank you to somebody. I got a postogram from Liam. This is the postogram, and it says, "Hey Dave, been watching your videos for a few years now and love them. You have inspired me to make tech videos. Keep up the great work. Your Geek UK." And that's at Your Geek UK on Twitter. Thank you very much, Liam. I really appreciate receiving these postcards and little messages through the post. It makes it all worthwhile. So thank you very much for that. Now, these questions are going to be a mixture from both email and also Twitter. I have had a few emailed questions over the past couple of weeks. I'm going to include those as well. But let's kick things off with some that came in through Twitter. So here we go. How many products do you receive per week? And that is from Talk Norwich City on Twitter. Well, it varies from week to week, but I would say an average is probably round about sort of 14 to 20 products a week coming to the Geekanoids studio. Now, not all of those get shown on the channel because it's impossible to cover that amount during a month. If I'm getting roughly about 80 products a month, that's far too much content to go onto the channel. And some of them don't quite make the grade. Some of them go into their own videos, and some of them I show in the Mega Gadget collections. So if you take it as round about sort of between 70 and 80 products a month, or between 14 and 20 products a week, and it's a lot to handle. So I'm always very wary that when I'm taking in products, especially things like mobile phones and tablets, you'll have seen my Nexus 7 review on the Geekanoids channel just recently, that they're tested properly. So I like to use like a tablet or a smartphone for about a week before putting out a review. So good question though, very good question. Now I'm going to just cover off a couple of questions that I got via email before going back to Twitter. And one of them is related to Twitter. And I put out the answer to this actually on my Twitter feed last night, and that is, why do you tweet so much? I love the platform. I love Twitter. It's a great way of me being able to communicate with you guys and girls, my followers and viewers, and let you know when a new video's gone online, or let you know when I found a bargain online. And I really love being a geek. So if I find a bit of technology, I like to share it with you. And the quickest and most instant way of doing that is via Twitter. So that's why I use Twitter so much. And if I tweet so much, I'm not going to apologise. I just absolutely love it. I absolutely love the platform. So that's a really good question. That came in by Brian on email. Now, I've also got another question that came in from somebody called Todd on email, and that was relating to audio recorders. And he asked about the audio recorder that I have sitting on my desk. Now, in my studio at the moment, my desk's just off to the left of me here, and I record a lot of my videos in front of the desk, and he spotted something underneath my Thunderbolt display. Now, I have shown this in other videos, but this is the recorder you're referring to, and it's a Sony PCM M10. Now, these little audio recorders are fantastic. They've normally got little tripod sockets on the bottom, so you can mount them on a tripod out of shot, for example, or you can use them handheld. They're often called handheld recorders, and they allow you to record really good quality audio via the built-in microphones. This one's got the mics positioned on the top here, and they're just very, very flexible because you can use them off camera, or perhaps you've got a camera that hasn't got an internal microphone, and then you can record really good quality audio on these, and then when you're editing your video, you synchronize the audio from here to the video that you've captured, and you've got a combination of good video and, well, what I would call with the Sony, great audio. Now, I've reviewed a lot of these, and I've reviewed ones from Zoom, the Zoom H1, the H2N. I'm also hoping to review the H6 as well. And there's also the Olympus range that I covered, and of course the Sony. And my favourite today is probably the Sony. The Olympus is very, very close on audio quality. The Zooms are fantastic as well. In fact, the Zoom H1 does really, really good audio for such a budget price. But the Sony just had a more sort of richer, more fully detailed sound. It's very hard to explain, but it just sounded a lot nicer in my videos. So this is the one I probably use most of the time. So great question. Thank you very, very much for that. Now, I will come back to a couple more email questions perhaps later on in this Q&A, but let's get on to some more of the Twitter ones. What have we got here? Here we go. Total Tech UK. Who is your favourite courier delivery company? I love DPD with their 1 hour delivery slot. It's superb. Who's yours? I probably read that wrong. In fact, I completely mashed it up. But basically, who is my favourite courier or delivery company? Well, I have got sort of favourites in the fact that they've never let me down. So people like DHL, also UPS, never let me down at all. DPD, I must admit, very good, because when you order something perhaps from Amazon, you get an email or a text the day before saying your DPD delivery is due for delivery tomorrow, or your Amazon delivery is due for delivery. And then on the day of delivery, you normally get another email saying who the courier driver is and this 1 hour time slot like you've mentioned in your tweet. And that's really good, because if you're waiting in for just one parcel and you've got that 1 hour time slot, you can make sure you're there. A little bit different for me because I'm sort of always here, or somebody's always here, and it doesn't really matter what time the deliveries turn up, but it is a nice additional sort of feature of the DPD delivery service. But overall, most couriers are okay. There are a few I've had issues with. I'm not going to name any names in this Q&A, but overall, they're pretty good. So brilliant question actually, and very relevant, because if we're ordering technology, we want it to arrive on time and in one piece as well. So great question. Another question from Total Tech UK is, will you do another PC build series or perhaps a Hackintosh? Now this is something I've looked into. I'm not a big Windows PC user. I do still have a couple of Windows 8 machines in the Geekanoids editing room, but doing another PC build, never say never, it's a possibility. What I was actually looking at doing was looking at a sort of a custom built system being actually made for me by a company and then sent through to bring you some coverage on. So that might happen soon on the Geekanoids channel. It's something I've been looking into and trying to arrange for 3 or 4 weeks now. And it's just to really be able to show you, you don't have to build your own system to get a good PC, and you don't have to buy off-the-shelf products either. You can get custom built stuff actually built at a reasonable cost. So keep an eye out for that. It might happen, it might not, but as I say never. I really enjoy doing the PC build series. Just to recap a little bit, my background is I come from a PC background. I was an IBM engineer for quite a few years. So yeah, the interest is still there. And I'm more interested actually in Windows 8.1 when that comes out, and also the touch features of Windows as well. So I might be bringing you some coverage about that. So great question again. Next question is from Ruggers297 on Twitter. Any tips for new tech reviewers? Well, that's a really good question, and I'm actually planning a video for advice for aspiring YouTubers, and also one for business users on social media. So 2 different videos planned on the Geekanoids channel over the next couple of weeks. But in answer to your question, the main tips are really to communicate with your viewers and also to involve them as well. And the Q&A sessions are a great way of doing that. So it's really worthwhile actually doing Q&A sessions and talking to your viewers like I'm doing with you now. And I also believe in being honest as well. So if you perhaps handle a product, or you've got a really good thing to tell somebody, or a good story to tell somebody, or an experience to share, is be honest about that experience. So if you handle a product and it doesn't work properly, tell that to your viewers. Okay, the company that sent you the product might not be that impressed, or might not be that happy that you've sort of said bad things about the product, but they will hopefully respect that opinion, and it will also inspire them to improve the product next time round. And your viewers will also appreciate that as well, because you've been honest with them. The other bit of advice is to upload on a regular schedule. Now, I'm in the fortunate position that I do YouTube full time, so I can actually upload a video every single day. If you're perhaps working or still studying and you can only do a video maybe once or twice a week, then upload those videos on the same days each week, and then your viewers get to know when to look out for your video, because unfortunately the sub boxes don't always work. Very true. And just be professional about everything. Be polite. There are videos, some entertainment videos where people swear and curse and do weird and wonderful things. That's not my particular area of doing videos, and they're all well and good, but I always believe in just being polite and treating others how you expect to be treated. And I think that'll come across in your videos. So it's a really, really good question. But do keep an eye out for these special videos that I'm doing, especially the one for aspiring YouTubers. Next up is another question from Twitter, from Gadget Guru HD. Are you self-employed? You put up so many videos, I can't imagine you having a 9-to-5 job. Well, I sort of answered that in the previous question. YouTube is my 9-to-5 job, not exactly 9 to 5, sometimes 7 till 8 or 7 till 9. It's a very, very long day sometimes, but I am in the fortunate position where I test and review products and bring you videos every single day and share my sort of geek lifestyle with you online. And if I was going to give my job description one word, I'd probably just say I am a geek, which is very fortunate. I absolutely love sharing with you all the little geeky things I find, and the technology and the gadgets. That's what I love doing. YouTube doesn't pay all of my bills, but I do have other things that I do as well. So I've got my website, obviously. I write articles on there as well. I do write articles for other websites on occasion, and I also make commercial videos. So companies approach me, maybe they've got products that they want demonstrated in a video, and those videos go direct to that company. They don't get shown on YouTube. Some of them go onto Amazon, some of them they use internally for sales use and for marketing, and that produces income as well. So I do YouTube, commercial videos, writing, and that's about it at the moment, which I think is plenty to keep me busy, and I thoroughly enjoy it. So that's what I do at the moment. And a great question as well, very, very relevant question. Next up is, wow, so many tweets in this timeline. Here we go. The next one is from Tech Crazy 7. When did you start your life in the tech world? I started at like 5 years old. That is a fantastic question. I'm going to have to think about that a little bit, because I'm trying to remember at what age I got my grandstand gaming console, which was probably my first experience of technology. And it was probably when I was about 6 years old, I think. And this was a little black box with a tourney control, and you could choose from like different forms of tennis, or pong as it was called in those days, and you just basically controlled 2 lines on the screen, and then the little dot flew across the screen. You had to hit it back and forwards, and you could choose different sports, but pretty much all of them were very, very the same really. They were just sort of slightly different configured on the screen. But yeah, that grandstand gaming console is probably my earliest memory of technology. And then I'm going to finish off on another question that came in via email, and that is, how do you contact companies to get products? And again, I'm going to just remind you, I am doing this special aspiring YouTubers video in about a week or so's time, so I will cover this again. But basically, what you've got to remember when contacting companies is that they do get a lot of requests for products. So my main advice is when contacting a company, be very polite and tell them what you offer up. So for example, I'll use myself as an example, best example here really, purely because I've done this so many times, is my initial point of contact would be to look on the company's website and look for their press or marketing page. And normally they have a dedicated press or marketing department. If they don't, then perhaps the sales department would be the next best one. And if they don't even have a sales email on the website, then maybe their info@ email address. And then I send them an email. I just introduce myself as Dave from Geekanoids, and I tell them that I've been producing videos for X number of years, and also that I really sort of communicate with my viewers, and I've got a nice community on Geekanoids that really respect and listen to what I say about products because they've come to trust what I actually say about a product. And then I just invite them to send the product to me. I say, would you like to send your Bluetooth headset to me to feature on the channel? And just invite them to respond and start that communication going. And normally I get a response within maybe 1 to 2 weeks. Sometimes it takes longer because companies get a lot of emails. Sometimes I don't get a response at all. And if I don't get a response, then I normally leave it 2 weeks before just following up again. If it's not a massive product, if it's not a very big release like a new smartphone, then sometimes I don't follow them up. I just think, well, they haven't responded, so they're not interested, and move on to the next company. There's plenty of companies manufacturing products nowadays. If they respond, then we talk about them loaning me the product and about how they will pick it up after I finish the review process, etc, etc. Sometimes with cases and small items, they don't pick them up after I finish the review, which is fair enough. It's probably not cost effective to do so. Now, some companies don't have press or marketing departments on their website. So I sometimes search for their sort of Twitter account. In fact, an example I can give you is just recently, about 2 weeks ago, it might have been 3 weeks, about 2 to 3 weeks ago, I emailed Zoom about their H6 recorder, and I emailed their Japanese headquarters and didn't get a response. So a few days back I thought, right, well, I'll follow this up because I haven't heard anything, and lo and behold, I discovered they've got a UK Twitter account, and I tweeted them, and then as soon as I tweeted them, I thought, hold on, I clicked on their name and they were actually already following me. So Zoom in the UK were already following me, so we could start up that dialogue again about bringing in one of their audio recorders to review. And that's how it works sometimes. So Twitter's a good medium for contacting companies. I wouldn't necessarily discuss lots of business details on Twitter, not on the public timeline anyway. I would revert to direct messaging and then just ask the person if they've got an email address, so you could send a proper introductory email to them, and then that starts up that conversation going again. So it's a great way of doing it. And what I would advise you is always be polite. So always just offer up what you're about, what you're going to offer for their product, how you're going to cover it, what sort of video you're going to do perhaps, and if they decline, then accept that and move on. You know, don't insist that they send you a product. You're not going to get anything by saying you must send me product. They will just delete your email because, as I say, they get hundreds and hundreds of emails a week asking for product, and they have to be very selective in who they send it to. And some channels, don't worry if you've only got maybe a few hundred subscribers. If you're doing good videos, then they will sit up and take notice. So great question. And that concludes this Q&A session. I really do enjoy doing these Q&As because it gives me a chance to answer your questions and also to connect with you as well. I really do like doing this sort of video, and we'll do them more regularly on the Geekanoids channel. So keep an eye out for a tweet in the next couple of weeks when I've scheduled the next Q&A, and you can get your new questions in via Twitter, or indeed leave them in the comments section below. So thanks very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.